check out Rush Collectibles' awesome horror figures, including the first and only Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 figures. For more information, go to rushfigures.com. Remember, in the course of discussing movies, the host will spoil plots. You've been warned. Listen to their screams. Greetings, ghouls and creeps, and welcome to Listen to Their Screams, a horror podcast that feels like you're chatting with friends. I am one of your friends, Dave. We're joined as always by our other friend, Ike. Ike, how are you?
Not doing too shabby. It's officially September, which means that we are within the realm of spooky season.
That's right. Our Spooktober watch list has begun. I have got Halloween decorations out. All is good in the world, and I'm a happy little boy. And on this episode, we'll be reviewing the movie The Well. That is coming up later in the show. Before we get to everything, look out for our bonus episode, which will be coming out Sunday, September 9th, featuring an interview we did with Severance Mountain writer and director Ethan Henry. So that is actually our next episode coming out after this. It's a bonus episode that will drop between this episode and next week's episode. So watch out for that, including on YouTube, the video version of that interview. So, Ike, before we go any further, what did you watch this week?
Well, me and Kayla started watching some of the movies on the September Spooktober stuff. Because of our schedules, we're not going to be able to watch them every night. So we just kind of had some time yesterday. So we decided to knock a few out, specifically movies that Kayla had never seen. So I'll give you a quick rundown here. I wrote them down. So we watched... Oh, where's it at here? There we go. We watched Halloween 3. Kayla's, of course, seen Halloween 3. We both really like Halloween 3. And it was the first movie to start the month off, so obviously we watched that. We watched Ginger Snaps, which Kayla had never seen before.
Did she like it?
Yeah, she liked it. She thought it was actually really good. What she said was, she's like, it's definitely a very different interpretation of like werewolves than other other source materials. So she kind of liked that it was a little bit different than what you normally see. Normally werewolves are like very powerful, and these ones have vulnerabilities. So she kind of liked that. We watched Sleepaway Camp, which Kayla had never seen before. So she liked it. She did not think it was scary. She actually thought it was kind of funny. Which I understand. I respect it. But she did like it. She did enjoy Sleepaway Camp. She was like, I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I was going to. I'm trying to remember which death it was, but she thought one of the deaths was just so cheesy, but she loved it. She was like, it's great. I want to say it was probably the one where the guy drowned and the snake was coming out of his mouth. I think it was.
Yeah.
It's pretty goofy, but yeah, it's a good one. And then last but not least, we watched Behind the Mask: Rise of Leslie Vernon. This is one that I put on the list and that I really wanted to watch, and so she watched it with me. I know I told Dave he needs to watch it eventually, but it's on the list, so you'll have to watch it eventually.
I did watch it. I watched it. We talked about this. I watched it.
Oh yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's my bad. I always forget when you watch things. It's a list. We both have lists.
That's a you problem, not a me problem.
That's true. But she did like it. She thought that the middle was a little boring, but she did like the beginning, the sort of theme of it, and she liked how it ended. But the lead up was a little slow, she said, but she liked it. So overall, successful start to that watch list.
There you go. Yeah, we watched the first two, the Halloween 3 and Reanimator. So the first 2 days, as we record, it's the first 2 days have passed. Not sure if we'll get to watch the house that Jack built. This today's actually on today or not with the schedule. So, but I told Monica that's one she's got to watch because I think that's one she'll like. And but we will watch it. So yeah, that's why we're trying to plug away on the list too. So far, so good. Enjoying it. People online seem to be enjoying it. I also watched a movie called on a Screambox. Let's see, what was it called? It's called Hallowed Ground. It came out in 2007. It was not the greatest, but it was okay. And but I did give it a watch. It was just one of those deals where I just went on Screenbox and just kind of scrolled through and picked something. I thought, let's watch this. And that's what I wound up with, Hollowed Ground. So take it for what it is.
Right.
But that that was that's the extent of my watching so far. So, all right, well then let's move on.
Order up!
Here's one house special cheesy slasher. Enjoy.
And it's time for our cheesy slasher of the week. This is where Ike and I recommend just that, a cheesy slasher from the past for you to watch. Typically, these movies are lower budget, but not necessarily always, but they are kind of goofy, cheesy, silly fun type movies. And this week's is absolutely zero exception. We present to you the movie Hard Rock Zombies. It is described as a freshly out of the grave band of hard rock zombies are thirsting to take their sweet revenge as they give the performance of a lifetime. It is written by Krishna Shaw and David Ball, directed by Krishna Shaw, starring E.J. Kurtz, Gino Andrews, Lisa Toothman, and many others. It was released in September of 1985 to video, and it is available to watch on Tubi. And that's it. That's the extent of the information that I can gather on Hard Rock Zombies. There's no trivia, nothing else. And I will say this. I put it on the list. I put it out there. Of all the ones, I can usually say, yeah, they're fun. Go watch whatever else. I gotta say this one. I understand the band was killed in the movie and came back and or seeking revenge. Otherwise, I really don't know what the hell was happening in this movie. It was a crazy, chaotic cluster of weird ideals and things. I don't even know. The plot was all over the place with this, and they just I don't know. But I do. Oh, I did see one thing about this, and I think this probably explains some of it. It was originally written. I think it was written and filmed. I think it was actually filmed as a 30-minute short that was designed to be inside another movie or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And then they decided to invest more money and go ahead and make it a full length. So maybe that's why it feels so all over the place. And I would be curious to see that original 30-minute edit of it and see if that flows better, because I would think it has to. But this was a weird one to watch. But take it for what that is. Take it or leave it. That's your cheesy slasher of the week. Hard Rock Zombies. It is on Tubi.
Talk to us, Internet!
And now we're going to move on to our segment called Talk to Us, Internet, where we either bring up something that was a listener feedback online, or just another point that was brought up online. And we thought this would be a natural week in this segment to talk about the Spooktober watch list that we mentioned a little bit earlier. We put it out there on social media, and it features 61 movies to watch one a day in September and October. We think it's a pretty fun list. It's featuring our favorites. So there are Dave's faves and Ike's likes, as we like to call them, and as well as a pick each from Monica and Kayla, and then plus a few choice new release movies that are coming out during those 2 months that are highlighted as well. So there's a good mix of things on here. I think there's a really, really good mix of movies and styles, and it kind of runs the gauntlet on time periods and everything. I think it's a pretty good mix. And so far, the reception seems to be pretty good as well. People have been saying the same things. And I hope people will use it and will watch it. It would be great if everybody watched all 61 movies. But if they don't get to, I just, use it as a kind of a guide where if they sit down and say, oh, I want to watch something, let's see what's on this list and pick something. That would be cool, too. At horror_Morgan on X said that it was an amazing watch list for September and October. Thanks to Listen to Their Screams. Get ready for spooky season with banger after banger. And Morgan, I agree with you. I think we have got banger after banger, although I don't really use the phrase banger, the term banger. But I'm aware of the term, so I agree. And then on Facebook, FS Art shared the list and commented, "You know what I'll be doing." So bless you, FS Art, and enjoy. So I would love to see some feedback from people if you are watching them. If you're watching them, daily, watching them all through, or watching them in chunks like Ike did. If you're picking and choosing some, or what you're doing. If you found something on the list that maybe you weren't aware of or hadn't seen before, or hadn't seen in a while or something, we'd like to hear some feedback. It's fun. This is just kind of a fun thing. Seems like everybody puts out a watch list, and we wanted to do it as well. So there you go. Thank you for all the responses, and and have fun watching. And we are posting these movies daily as they're come up on the list. So if you can't want to if you don't save the list or want to scroll through to find it, you can just look at some of our latest social media posts, and every day we are posting that day's movie from the watch list. So, all right, let's move on to our next segment.
Horror Hot Take.
And this week we have a horror hot take. This is an opinionated segment where Ike, or I, it's typically Ike, gives a hot take on a horror topic, theme, movie, whatever it may be. And sometimes it's a little more opinionated than others, but it is definitely just a thought or an opinion or some feedback from us. So, Ike, do you have a horror hot take for this episode?
I think so. I think I got something okay. Cooked up.
I hope so, or it's going to be a very quiet segment. So,
right,
lay it on us. What is your horror hot take for this episode?
What would you do if I was just like silent to say here?
I would just sit here as well. Probably scroll my phone.
Right. Okay. So my horror hot take, and I think I've talked about this movie before. I don't know if I've ever talked about it as a horror hot take specifically, or if I've ever talked about just sort of this general concept. So I apologize if this maybe be a repeat, or if maybe part of this is a repeat. I have a horrible memory, so don't hold it against me. So obviously, I scroll through TikTok somewhat frequently. It's something I do sometimes, when I'm on the toilet, or who knows, if I got some free time or whatever, I'll scroll through TikTok. It's the typical deep dive, you know how it goes. And I follow a very wonderful person on TikTok. They go by Horror Chronicles. So obviously, huge shout out to them. They're a wonderful creator. They talk a lot about horror films and everything else, and sort of the realities of being a horror fan. And they posted a video the other day that said, POV, you say you're a horror fan on the internet. And it's talking about how, anytime you talk about horror, especially in a virtual setting, there's always that one person, right? There's that one person who always says something like, "Oh, you're not a real horror fan unless you've seen this." Right. And like, that's annoying, of course. But then there's that next step down where it's like that horror fan that thinks that you need to watch the most god awful shock films ever created in order to be a horror fan. And my favorite is that typically they will insert some form of extreme horror film, right? Something to the likes of like a Serbian film, or some other disgusting borderline snuff film that, it's a pseudo snuff film, or some really just horrid shit like that. And they're like, if you don't like these movies, then you're not a real horror fan. So I guess my hot take is that, like, it's okay not to like those movies, as well as it's okay to not like a lot of horror movies. You know what I mean? If you don't like horror movies or anything like that, or if you like certain types of horror movies, it's perfectly fine. You're still welcome in the horror community. But specifically, I think we should normalize excluding people who act like that.
Yeah.
I'm not for exclusionism, but I don't know, man. Like, there was once upon a time when I made YouTube videos under the Geek Stew moniker. I would post a lot about horror movies and things of that nature. And sometimes people would say, like, "Have you ever seen a Serbian film?" And I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch that movie. And for people who are out there, I wouldn't recommend you watch it, nor would I recommend you even Google it, because you're going to get the description of the film, which in of itself is horrifying. It's just, yeah, it's just, I hate that sort of that mentality that oh, you have to watch this absolutely depraved bullshit that I watched once. And I somehow feel I'm superior to you as a horror fan. Nah. Like, I would prefer never to speak of that movie, but I feel like it comes up a lot online and like horror communities and just people who act like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before. There's different types of horror films, and everybody has their favorites, and that's okay. And even if you only like one particular type of horror, you're still a horror fan. It's like saying just because you like one style of music, you can't be a music fan because you don't listen to other styles or something. It doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't matter. Like what you like, watch what you want, call yourself what you want. Who cares? I mean, it's like I don't. To me, by the straight up technical definition of it, if they just like one horror movie, they're a horror fan because they're a fan of that film. So they like at least that one. So, I mean, so whatever. I don't mean, there's a lot of that kind of gatekeeping type stuff in everything. And it's always driven me mad. And we've been on that soapbox so many times. It's just, I don't understand it. I don't comprehend the mentality of somebody trying to, I don't know. What's the point in claiming you're bigger or better than, are you getting paid? I mean, is there a hierarchy? I mean, is there a hierarchy? Because I didn't know there was a hierarchy. And, I need to maybe work a little harder than to level up because I wasn't where we were competing. And, I don't know. I don't even, people like that are just fools and idiots. And, it ain't even worth just, man, if you come across that and somebody jumps on one of your posts or something out there, or something, if you share a movie or make a comment, someone like that comes on, just block their ass and move on. Yeah. And don't even give them the time of day because, and if anybody faces shit like that and gets worn out or whatever, come over to our little corner of the horror world because we don't care what you like and we respect whatever you like. We're fun and easygoing and positive people. So just fuck them all and just follow us on social media and listen to us and just enjoy what you want to enjoy because, man, we're happy to have you. And I want as many people as possible to like horror, and I don't care that they like it all. And I wouldn't expect them to like it all because that's just not how life is. And it's
no,
I have horror films I don't like, and I have horror films I do like, and I like styles of horror better than others. I mean, I'm a little more, maybe a little more generally, all encompassing than some people. That's okay. I just want to watch fun, good movies. Whatever. I mean, that's all it is. And whatever. I don't understand people get hung up on that and getting powered by being on their phone or behind a keyboard, and it's just weird. It's very odd to me. And
and like you said, we talk about the whole gatekeeping thing a lot, and I do feel like it's a very unfortunate aspect of every online community. But I do feel that especially with horror community and like things like that. But I don't know. Like I get so tired of hearing people in comments. Have you seen a Serbian film? No, that's a real horror movie and shit like that. And I'm just like, God bless, dude. I really don't want to hear about it. Like, I don't know. They're just, I don't know. I don't know how to verbalize what goes through my mind, but it's something to the effect of, why do people like those kinds of movies? Like those absolutely just vile horror film. Like don't get me wrong. I'm sure people watch Terrifier and they're like, oh, that's vile. Like, no, Terrifier is like a scratch on the top of an iceberg of like a lot worse films out there. And like, don't get me wrong, Terrifier's got some real messed up scenes, but there is worse. And that is what I think is like, there does come a line, I think, between like being actually like good and fits the nature of horror films, between that and like broaching into like true vile just horror. And like
it's like that with anything, right? There's a point where you cross over from being creative within that style to just trying to get shock value. And and it's no longer an artistic piece. You're just fishing for reaction. Right. And that's different. And that's a different realm. And it's not the same, not applicable. And I don't know. But
that makes sense though.
Yeah, I mean, but whatever. A lot of people suck. But once again, if anybody's out there feels that pressure, if anybody out there is new to horror and it feels intimidated to ask questions and ask for suggestions because they feel that they might be mocked or ridiculed or bullied online, feel free to inbox us. We will help guide you. We will help give you some suggestions. We will help tell you and explain anything you want and answer any of your questions because we are happy that you have an interest and we're happy that you want to be a part of it and we welcome you. So,
yep.
And I don't care which movies you want to watch. We will help you because even if I hate the movie, if you like it, we say that all the time though, right? We do on here. This is not, I don't care for this movie, but it could be somebody else's favorites and we're both right. No one's wrong in this case because it's just opinion. And, so, yeah, I think we could talk for hours. We have in the past on this topic. And so we'll leave it at that. And, just everybody, just be better people and just quit being dicks. It's too easy to be a dick and hide online. And there's no point in it, man. There's more value to be gained by making someone smile and have a good day and, and complimenting and being positive. Yeah, you'll get more out of that than just being a dick and ruining someone's day and trying to. What's the point? I mean,
it really is. That's a good thing. What's the point?
I'm not a violent person, and I don't endorse violence or whatever else. But there are just some people that just really need a good ass kicking in this world. I'm sorry. I'm not saying I'm the guy to do it. No, that ain't gonna. I don't know if that's gonna teach anybody a lesson. But some people they just really need their heads knocked off. What a good. And I do not endorse violence, and please don't. Nobody go out and do that. As Dave said, and I don't want to be that. But anyway, so there you go. We'll just summarize it that. Just be better people, folks. And
do better.
Do better. That's right. Be good, man. Don't stitch up horror like so many other fandoms have done and make you cringe, man. Let's keep horror. It's funny to say it, keep horror positive and whatever else, given the some of the terrifying stuff we watch, but it is, man. And overall, horror fans as a whole are really cool people. At least the ones I've met and encountered. And but yes, like any fandom though, there are bad eggs out there, and I just try to avoid those people. And if we just all ignore them, they'll eventually go away because they don't get a reaction. They don't care anymore. They'll move on to something else. So let them. I don't know. Let them go watch something else. But all right, well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we will have our news, upcoming releases, and all that. So stick around.
Make sure you subscribe to listen to their screams on your favorite podcast platform. Also, make sure you look us up on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, TikTok, and Slasher. All you have to do is look up Listen to Screams. That is Listen, the number 2 in Screams, and you can find us there. Also, make sure you go and buy yourself a Listen to Their Screams t-shirt. You can find all of our shirts at tinyurl.com/Screams Shirts.
Spread the news. Spread the news. Spread the news. And welcome back with the news. All right, folks. So, the first official trailer for Smile 2 was released on September 3rd. So that is the day of recording this, actually, and I have not yet watched it.
Yeah, me neither.
For those who are curious, the other trailers that you may have seen up to this point are technically considered teaser trailers. So this is the actual first official trailer being released today, which, I mean, surprisingly, those teasers were pretty in-depth, I thought. So I thought those were the legit trailers, but now that you say it they do say teaser.
Yep.
But
I'm very looking forward to seeing this. Once we're done recording, I'll probably give it a watch. Because I'm really looking forward to this movie, and I'm ready to see a trailer.
Yeah, me too. And I'll probably watch with Kayla. We always watch these trailers together, typically. But the movie does release officially October 18th. So we got that date. I think we've had that day for a while now. But we will be reviewing this movie on our October 24th episode. So, this will be forthcoming. And I do believe we reviewed Smile, the first one, last year. So that's somewhere in our archives.
I think so, yeah.
So check it out and get ready for part 2 Electric Boogaloo next month.
Mm-hmm. With smiles.
That's right. And moving on to a teaser trailer for Screamboat was released on August 30th. Again, I've yet to watch this. I need to watch this, damn it.
It was fun. It's definitely a teaser, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't give too much away, but it's got me excited. It's fun.
Honestly, I'm excited for this one. Real quick, it's going to be released in theaters January 2025. But absolutely, I'm super pumped for this. Definitely, I think it's going to be better than the other one. The other one was all right.
Mm-hmm. Well, this one's coming from our friends at Fuzz on the Lens.
It is,
and those that made the Terrifier movies and starring David Howard Thornton. So there's a lot there positive coming into it to like. So it's exciting.
It is very exciting, and of course, we have a little bit more news in the realm of what is it? I always forget what do we call these movies? They are
public domain horror.
Yeah, public domain horror. I always forget that. So, in other public domain horror news, the first trailer for Peter Pan's Neverland was released also on August 30th. How the fuck have I missed all this stuff? Jesus Christ!
I know. I haven't watched this one either. I knew it was out there, and I still haven't watched it. But.
We're lacking, I swear.
I know.
But the movie is going to be released in early 2025. So, I mean, obviously, this is going to be super exciting. I believe this is coming from the people who made Blood and Honey 1 and 2, right?
Yes, correct. This is part of the Pooniverse.
The Pooniverse. Oh man, I love that. I love just the words Pooniverse. That's just so amazing. And but yeah, I mean that's super exciting. We have our review of Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 in the archives.
Yep.
And we talked a little bit about how there was a little segment before the movie that talked about the upcoming movies, which were the Peter Pan and then Bambi: The Reckoning. So both of those are going to be so cool when they come out. So I'm super stoked for both of them. So
they also released the first posters for Pinocchio Unstrung and Bambi: The Reckoning. So you're not a lot on them right now, but they are pretty cool looking. So we put those up on social media, so you check those out there.
Absolutely, but good stuff. I think that does it for news. Obviously, this was a really good time to mention it because Dave just mentioned it there. Make sure you follow us on social media where we post all the stuff when it happens. So, that way you don't get caught lacking like we did because I just forget to watch these things. So, if you're following us on social media, you won't get caught lacking. That's all I got to say. And upcoming birthdays, let's rock and roll with September 5th, 1951, Michael Keaton, known for his role, of course, as Batman. But also Beetlejuice. If I say his name two more times, he might appear. But yeah, obviously Beetlejuice is fantastic. Batman's fantastic. Everything Michael Keaton does is pretty good. I liked him also in Spider-Man Homecoming. He played the Vulture, which was actually really solid. But anywho, other than superhero movies, Beetlejuice is coming out next couple weeks here, or next week, isn't it?
Yeah, next week.
This week.
No, yeah, you're right. This coming weekend. Yeah. It's here. So
it's here.
I'm super excited, but love Keaton. That's my Batman. But I don't think I've ever seen him in anything that I don't like him. And he's just one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, 100%. So good stuff. Happy birthday, Mikey. Looking a little crispy. No, I was kidding.
Wrong franchise.
Yeah, wrong franchise. You're lucky I didn't put that on my list for
I was
watch list.
I was a little surprised.
I almost did it, and the only reason I didn't was because I knew that Halloween 3 would be on there, and I knew Halloween 1 would be on there. So I was like, we don't need any more Halloween movies on the watch list.
I threw H2O on there.
I somewhat regret not doing it, but I was like, I shouldn't do it. So I didn't. Next year. There's always next year.
That's right.
But anywho, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, wait your turn, Busta.
That's right. Wait your turn, Busta Rhymes. Next year, September 5th, on a different day, 1973, Rose McGowan, known for her role in Scream and Phantoms. Anytime I hear Phantoms, I always remember that scene. And was it Mallrats or is it Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
I can't remember which one it's from.
But either Ben Affleck kicked ass in Phantoms or something like that.
It's Ben Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
I love that.
And the funny thing is, though, I think he's saying it to Ben Affleck's character in that movie. Yeah, so which I think it was Jay Silent Strikes Back, because remember Ben Affleck and Mallrats played the dick guy. They wouldn't have been talking to him.
True, that is true.
Yeah, so I think it Strikes Back.
Yeah, I do like Phantoms though. Phantoms is actually not a horrible movie.
I like it. It's good. It's a good film.
Good stuff. And then September 6th, 1949, Tommy Lee Wallace, the director of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Obviously, this is the first movie on our September watch list, so obviously if you're following along, you've actually watched this movie recently, so happy birthday to him. Halloween 3, I would say, it is gaining in popularity, I feel like, but it's definitely underrated, I would say, still to this day.
Yeah, I would say so too. It's just, I love it. It's different, and it doesn't really fit into the timelines or anything, but it's just, I don't know, it's just such a fun movie.
I was talking to Caleb, and I think personally that they should revisit the whole like anthology series idea with like a TV show for Halloween. I feel like that would be really cool.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
I would too. Hey, if anybody out there is, I don't know who owns Halloween right now, but if you're out there, hit me up. I'll write a TV show for you.
There you go.
I've never written anything before other than like stories, but I'll write a TV show.
You don't say that after you offered to do it for someone.
I mean,
that's not how you sell yourself.
I would assume that they're going to figure it out. That they're like, this motherfucker ain't never written nothing before, so.
Yeah, probably.
But I digress. Moving on to September 7th, 1954, Doug Bradley, known for his role as Pinhead in Hellraiser and many other Hellraiser movies. Most of them, in fact.
Raising a lot of hell.
Hell yeah. Raise hail, praise Dale.
No.
I'm just joking. I don't know where I heard that, but I say it a lot. I don't know why.
Oh, no.
Praise hail, praise Dale. That's that Southern in me. That's that Midwest Southerner. I'm pretty sure my grandpappy liked Dale and Hart. Pretty sure.
Grandpappy?
My grandpappy. See, it's the Southern coming out in me. I don't know why.
What are you, Popeye now? That's my pappy.
But I liked Pinhead. I liked Hellraiser. Those are both good characters in movies.
Yeah, nothing to do with Dale Earnhardt, but
no. That's a weird connection I somehow drew in this conversation. I'm not totally sure how I did it, but
no, I don't either.
That's my superpower: finding connections with random bullshit. Doesn't do anybody any good, but it's just fun. Yeah. Moving on to September 8th, 1971, David Arquette, known for his roles in Scream and one of my favorites, Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah, that's why I put that on there.
I love Eight-Legged Freaks. I don't know why. I watched it when I was a kid, but it's such a fun movie. And I recently rewatched it about I think last October probably. So that's somewhat recently, but yeah, good stuff. Eight-Legged Freaks is a fun time.
This was such a big video release back in the day. I always remember it's like going to that new release wall, there just being like a whole freaking 3 shelves worth of Eight-Legged Freaks. That was, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking was happening. I don't know if it rented to that level or not, but they tried. It was there.
I mean, I guess you can't fault them for trying, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the movie, but it is by no means an Oscar-winning movie. So I don't imagine it had a terrible amount of success. I mean, I could be wrong.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, as a video rental, though, I mean, you never know.
True. You truly never know when it comes to video rentals. But moving on to September the 8th again, 1956, Julian Richings, known for his role in Supernatural as Death. He was the OG Death before Billy took over, but yeah.
One of the most perfect castings ever. He was 100%. Just so good in every way. He looked, I mean it with all the love of my heart, but he looked like Death, and everything just was perfect. So good.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think out of all the horsemen, and I don't mean any offense to the other 3 horsemen that they picked, He was definitely the best and most well casted, I would say, out of the three.
Yeah.
And that's of course no diss to the other ones. They all did a fantastic job, but he was just so good, and his tonal inflection and just the way he spoke was just so eloquent, but also just you just felt that he was better than everyone around him, and like he acted like it too.
Yeah. And the dude was just loved junk food.
Hey, that's incredibly based. I love junk food too.
Yeah, just always cracked me up how he was always wanted fried pickles or pizzas. It just cracked me up. Such a funny thing.
It truly is. Now, I would venture to guess that if I were some cosmic deity that predates even the creation of the universe, I too would like to constantly eat junk food. I think that that's something we share in common.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, what?
I mean, I do it now, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess.
Oh man, love it. So happy birthday, Julian. And moving on now to our last one, September 9th, 1954, Jeffrey Combs, known for his role in Reanimator, From Beyond, and Stream. Obviously did fantastic in Reanimator. We've yet to see Stream, but I am assuming that he did a fantastic job in Stream.
I can't imagine. I mean, Jeffrey Combs is great. He's just good in everything. I love him, but he's perfect in Reanimator. Just one of the reasons I love that movie so much.
Can't beat it. And again, I always mention it. I have watched Reanimator, so I do have the knowledge, and I did like it too. It's a good one. We were actually, weirdly enough, funnily enough, we were gonna watch that, me and Caleb, because it's on the list.
Yep.
But I told her about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't think I would like that movie."
So it's a fun movie though. It's one of those.
It is, and like I like it, but knowing her, I don't think that she would like it. So we'll see. I might convince her to watch it yet.
She likes Sleepaway Camp, and that's a little bit surprising. Yeah, never know.
True, it is surprising she liked it, but I think that she liked it because of how goofy it is.
Well, Reanimator has got its goofy parts too.
It does.
Like a bunch of naked reanimated corpses in the morgue attacking people, and the headless guy that performs on a woman, or not a headless guy, but the head of a headless guy. So
the head of a headless guy. Yeah, so. That's a good one. I'll try and get her to watch it. I can't promise anything, but I'm gonna try.
There you
go. But moving on, hey, that's all the birthdays. We have quite a few this week. But we have some movie anniversaries. September 6th, 2019, It Chapter 2. Chapter 2 was great. Chapter 1 was okay. I think I like Chapter 2 a little bit better, but I do think that these two are meant to be together and watched in sequence.
Yeah. They're both good. Yeah, I think you have to have one with the other. You have to have them both to get that complete telling. So
true.
But yeah, good stuff.
Absolutely. And speaking of, we should soon, I would imagine, be seeing Welcome to Derry coming to HBO at some point. I'm pretty sure it's done.
Yeah, it shouldn't be long. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they've announced the date on that yet or not, but I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Yeah. So, hey, another time to pitch it. Make sure you follow us on social media. You'll know when it happens. Mm-hmm. But anywho, moving on to September 7th, 2006, Hatchet. Hatchet is good fun. Has a lot of OGs in that one. A lot of good just cameos and whatnot. Which truly is what this movie succeeds at. It's obviously just a cheesy slasher, as a lot of these movies are that we love. But it has so much potential. Had a lot of great sequels, and always is a good fun rewatch.
I love the Hatchet movies. I really do, especially the first one, because they made them to feel like an old slasher in that style, and there's a lot of great people in it, and it's just a fun movie. It's so entertaining, and I mean, I don't know. People sleep on it. I think It's another one of those ones for some reason you don't hear as much about Hatchet. And what's there been four of them now? Is that right?
Yeah, there's Hatchet 1, 2, and 3, and then there's one that's just called Victor Crowley.
Yeah. So They're good. I enjoy them all. But but the first one's really super fun.
Yeah, I've only seen, I think, the first two. I need to sit down and watch the third one, Victor Crowley. But I do know essentially what happens in those movies, just because when you look it up, you usually find the summary. But yeah, I do know essentially what happens. But yeah, I'll have to watch that one. I've actually heard Victor Crowley is like a surprisingly good movie, especially since it's supposed to be sort of a more serious take on it.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe watch those this month. But
I think Hatchet I put on the list, the first one.
I think you did. I think I remember seeing it on there. That's another one I feel like Kayla wouldn't like, but hey, if she likes Sleepaway Camp, she might like this one.
I think, yeah, man, they just got to give Hatchet a try.
Give good old Hatchet a try. All right.
Tony Todd's in it and everything. Oh, yeah.
I mean, as what's her name? Danielle
Harris, yeah.
Harris in it. Yep. Has Kane Hodder in it, doesn't it?
Yep. He's Victor.
Yeah, that's right. He plays Victor Crowley.
Yep.
So I mean, there's a lot of really great people in this. So I mean, that alone should be motivation to watch it, I think. But
the one nerdy kind of dude, skinny nerdy dude from Dodgeball's in it.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's another fantastic movie that she's never watched. Dodgeball.
Oh, she's never seen Dodge. Oh my lord.
It is to this day, it is pinnacle of comedy in so many ways.
I crack up just as hard when I still watch it. It still is funny to me. Every time I watch it, I think it is the perfect comedic movie, at least for my taste.
I quote that movie all the time. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah, is it necessary for me to drink my own urine? No,
but it's sanitary.
It's sanitary, and I like that taste. Yeah.
I just, oh my god. There are people out there who are probably like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Just go watch Dodgeball, folks.
Yeah, for real. If you've never watched Dodgeball, it's a non-horror movie, but that's a 4 thumbs up from Dave and I.
Oh, hell yeah.
But
it made me want to play Dodgeball just because, just to be part of that world.
Oh, yeah. Well, we better move on before we get talking about Dodgeball, because we will talk about that forever.
Yes, that's right.
But moving on to September 7, 2018, 12 years later, The Nun. The Nun is fantastic. It is a very fun possession demons movie that's from the Conjuring universe. I would rank it pretty highly compared to the other films. So if you've never seen it, for sure give it a watch.
Yeah, I agree. And the Nun's such a great character. That character, such a great look and everything. Yeah, it works so well.
It really does. And obviously, I mean this in all kindness, but the woman who plays the nun, she's kind of creepy looking without the makeup. So,
well, I'm sure she knows her lane in acting, so that's all right.
Well, I was gonna say she obviously is making buku bucks off of this because she's been in like 4 of the Conjuring movies.
There you go. Yeah. So.
But I digress. And excuse me, I had a little catch in my throat there. Moving on to September 8th, 1960. So this is a true OG. Psycho. Oh, man. The slasher movie that started them all. Don't get me wrong. Psycho is a fantastic movie. And Halloween is, in my opinion, probably even more so important. But Psycho really did start that craze. Start the tropes and get the ball rolling so other movies of that genre could prosper. So, so good.
Yeah, it's one of those movies, even if you don't think you would like it, or even if if it's not your style, or it's like you almost just have to watch it just for the historical value, just to know, and a lot of people, if you're a fan of, more modern horror, it may not be as gripping to you, but remember, you gotta walk before you can run, and this is where it started. Yeah,
truly, you have to walk before you can run. You have to use chocolate syrup in black and white before you can use pig's blood or corn syrup.
Yeah, you have to think. I mean, at that time, the things they did it's about as far as they could push the envelope. They couldn't have done much more. And they made a pretty creepy film and a pretty spooky bit at that time with what they were capable of doing.
They did. One of my favorite pieces of trivia is that one of the most scandalous things that they did in that movie was flush a toilet on screen.
Oh yeah.
Which is so funny to me because that just happens all the time in movies we watch. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
You have the scene where the person walks out of the bathroom and they flush the toilet behind them. But apparently, back in the day, seeing a toilet flush was a little too risque. I don't know.
I guess, yeah. There's a lot of things you couldn't get away with back in the day.
Yeah, true. Very true. But Psycho did it first, so kudos to them. And moving on to September 8th, 2017, It Chapter 1. Of course, they were released in pretty quick succession. 2-year time isn't too bad for the type of movie that they were making in the turnaround. So, Chapter 1 was good. Like I said, I really like Chapter 2 just because I like the adult versions of the kids. I feel like they're really cool and relatable. But of course, you can't have Chapter 2 without Chapter 1. You just can't.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's still a good movie. And again, like we said earlier, they go together. You got to watch them together.
They go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Okay.
True. It's true. I love peanut butter and jelly. Quick poll. Do we prefer grape jelly or strawberry jelly?
Grape. It's all grape for me.
All grape. That's fair. I do prefer grape jelly. I do switch it up sometime and get strawberry. Recently, I tried out Smucker's raspberry jelly. Pretty solid. Pretty solid.
Yeah. I just grape makes the best sandwich to me. The best PBJ. That's the classic.
I would agree. I do like a good grape jelly sandwich. In fact, that sounds very good, and I'm hungry, so I wish that I had one right now.
Yes. Yep.
Oh man. But moving on, because I could talk about PB&Js. It's like one of my favorite snacks. September 9th, 2022, Barbarian. Oh man, I love Barbarian. It's been too long since I've seen it. I rewatched it when it came to streaming, but it's so good. And we did review this movie. I think we both liked it a lot, and just generally positive reviews from what I recall.
Yeah, I was going to say I think it slipped into our top 5, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
I think you're right. I think it did for 2022. To be fair, I will say that 2022 we didn't make as many episodes.
Yeah, we started late in the year,
so it is possible that there were movies that we didn't see. Because I will say, I see a lot of movies now versus when before we started the podcast. Like I watched a lot of movies, but even more so now. So it's very possible we missed some potential candidates during that time because we hadn't quite started making the show. So
yeah,
but I think it did make it into our top 5.
Yep, probably. But yeah, we went with what we had at that time, and
yeah,
that's it's a good film. So
it is
not undermining the importance of it.
Correct, absolutely. Oh Lord, getting winded. You need to work out a little more, I guess.
Just to get to the podcast.
Just to get to the podcast. I'm kidding.
Gotta work on that cardio.
That's right. All right, moving on to upcoming releases. The Front Room, starring Brandy, comes to theaters on September 6th. It is described as the story of a newly pregnant couple who are forced to take in an alien estranged stepmother. I am excited for this movie. It is interesting looking, and it reminds me of Get Out based on some of the subject matter. And I feel some very satisfying scenes in that movie coming. So I'll definitely catch this movie for sure.
Yeah, sounds fun. The stepmother, from what I have seen in the trailer, is pretty damn creepy and horrible. And
right.
So, yeah, sounds like a good time. And and overall, I think Brandy's pretty talented. And and I hadn't heard much about her in a while, so it's good to see her out there in something prominent.
Yeah, and forgive me because I'm she's a musician, right?
Yeah, started as a musician, but yeah.
Yeah. And I knew she did some acting, but I was pretty sure she started as a musician but I didn't want to say that. It sounds stupid. So
yeah, I think I could be wrong. I'm not big on Brandy, but I think didn't she have a TV show back in the day, like Moesha or something? Was that a show?
Moesha was a show. I don't know if that was. Let me look.
I could be wrong. I thought that was maybe her in it, but I don't know.
It was, yeah. Moesha had Brandy Norwood in it. That's the name that she was.
I don't know why I know that because I don't think I've ever seen a single episode of the show. But I guess that's some good marketing if that's stuck with me all those years.
Right.
Yeah, so she's done her share of acting. So
I was gonna say she played. She was in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, which is what I know.
That's right. Yep, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, she is in that.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Man, that is a genre-defying actress right there.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no correlation between I Know What You Did Last Summer and Moesha.
Not really. No.
But that just shows her range, and I think she'll do really good in front room. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
But moving on to Creeping Death. Sounds like a death metal band. Comes to Screambox on September 10th. Described as Halloween was always Tim's favorite holiday until his mother was diagnosed with cancer. Now all he wants is a quiet night in. This is quickly disrupted when his friends pay him a visit after stealing a mysterious sack from the doorstep of a local crazy.
Yeah,
we strikes again.
Yeah, we mentioned that we mentioned this in front room last week, but since they're coming out this weekend, we mentioned them again. But yeah, I have to check on the second appearance of the mysterious sack. And yeah, this movie sounds good though, but I am dying to watch it just to see more of this now infamous mysterious sack. And I'm hoping I'm not underwhelmed by the sack. So we'll see.
Oh man,
we actually have a screener link for this, so we can watch it. We can even watch it before the September 10th if we really get it itching. So to see what we can report back. Yeah, report back if the sack is worthwhile.
Oh man, some of the things I hear in the show, but
the phrase
mysterious sack
sounds funny, but yet so fitting in the description of a horror movie. So it's just, it's like, it's not funny because it's awkward or out of place. It makes perfect sense, but I don't know. Maybe it's just that 13-year-old humor in me. It's just for some reason mysterious sack. And I don't know.
I agree. It is beyond humorous in my opinion.
I don't think this is what Creeping Death wanted their movie to be known for. But
right, the mysterious sack. I don't think that was their intention, but that's what we got.
We've not seen the movie though. It might be. Who knows? I mean,
true.
We'll hold all judgment until we see it.
We'll hold all judgment until we see the mysterious sack.
Yeah, and it's Creeping Death.
That's right. Oh Lord.
I think we should move on.
I think we should before we get more caught up on the mysterious sack. But Apartment 7A, the Rosemary's Baby prequel, is coming to Paramount Plus and video on demand on September 27th. And we will be reviewing this on October 3rd's episode. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. Either October, I may have that. Maybe it's the 3rd or 10th. I think we may have bumped it to 10th. I can't remember now.
Let me look. I have the list.
I think there was something else, wasn't there, that came in that we were going to review on the 3rd. We bumped this to the 10th.
You are correct. We're going to have to do a retraction here, guys. We apologize very deeply, but we are going to be reviewing Apartment 7A on October the 10th, and on October the 3rd, we are reviewing Never Let Go.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so if you're just here, if you're just hanging on for that Apartment 7A review, you're going to have to hang on 1 week further. Just don't lose hope. It's coming.
True. But good shit. Moving on to Beetlejuice. The long-awaited sequel to 1988's Beetlejuice. I said it 6 times in this episode.
Yep, he's gonna get you.
No, he's coming. This movie, of course, is coming to theaters on September the 6th. It is described as after a family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down where her teenage daughter, Astrid, accidentally opens the portal to the afterlife. Now, of course, we will be reviewing this movie next episode, as we should. I'm super excited for Beetlejuice. The return of Michael Keaton, and of course, all of the other cast, most of the other cast. I don't think Alec Baldwin, was it Alec Baldwin?
Yes. Yeah, I don't think he's in it. I have a feeling.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that he might be the family tragedy that brings them all back together.
No, I think it's the dad, which is also tragic because he has an unfortunate history too, which is
there you go. Yeah,
I'm not gonna say it, but let's just say he likes kids a little too much. I think it's pretty rightful that they maybe killed him in this movie. It may have been justified. I'm not saying that in any uncertain terms, but
clearly someone dies because they're all at a funeral in
yeah,
the thing. So, and I think you can see like a picture on the something there, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the dad because I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like a redhead, and I'm pretty sure the picture's a redhead if I remember correctly.
oh wait a minute though, yeah, that's right. Alex Baldwin and Gina Davis were
other ghosts. So.
Yeah.
I would assume that they probably explained it away as them like moving on or something. Would be my guess.
Yeah, because I don't think I've seen anything about Gina Davis being in it unless she has a surprise cameo.
Or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know the shrunken headman's in it.
that he is. That he is.
Yeah. So excited about that.
And, good old shrunken head man.
Yeah, and super excited to see Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega together in a movie. I think this just feels right for those two to be in a movie together. I very much feel like Jenna Ortega is this generation's Winona Ryder. That's what it feels like.
I think so. Winona Ryder, I feel like after Stranger Things, I feel like Winona Ryder's had sort of a resurgence after the success of her Stranger Things. This is not to say that she's not a fantastic actress, but I feel like I didn't really see much of her in like the 2000s and 2010s. She did stuff, obviously, but like I never personally saw those movies, so that might be a me problem. But
well, and she, might have fallen in that unfortunate range where for whatever reason women can't work in Hollywood, but they're too old to play one thing and too young to play another, so apparently they can't be in a movie. Yeah, there's a lot of that shit in Hollywood.
Very much so.
Ridiculous.
Well, Hollywood is a wild and uncultured place, believe it or not. Winona Ryder should be in everything. I love Winona Ryder.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just want her and Michael Keaton and just to be in everything.
True. Absolutely.
She's great.
She really is. She's very talented. But all right. I think that pretty much covers it. We talked a lot. We had a lot of laughs. Talked about the mysterious stack.
Again.
And again. So we're going to take a deep breath, get some water, and when we come back, we will have our official review of The Well. Stick around.
This is Wrestling Nostalgia, the podcast that dives into wrestling history. Hey, wrestling fans, I'm Dave Dynasty, and if you enjoy podcasts that are knowledgeable and history-driven, then Wrestling Nostalgia is for you. With great guests and fun interviews, there are over 200 episodes in our archives. We chat with several first-time guests and often cover topics not discussed on other podcasts. Look up Wrestling Nostalgia on your favorite podcast platform and visit all of our links at linktr.ee/rasselpod. That is linktr.ee/RASSLEPOD. And remember, wherever you go, whatever you do, be good, be safe, and keep on growing.
All right, and here we are back on Listen to Their Screams. We have crawled out of the mysterious sack and are now falling into the well. So here we go, and we're gonna buzz right through this and get through because we have rambled on a lot, and well, frankly, my voice is giving out a little bit, and I've had a busy day chat wise, so let's get through this. The Well released video on demand on September 3rd, written by here we go, Federico Zampaglione and Stefano Macy, directed by Federico Zampaglione. I'm sorry, the Italian name, it is just, there's too many syllables for old Dave at this stage of the day to try to get through. I am completely the name butcher anyway. When you throw that one at me, I apologize, Federico. But it's starring Lauren Lavera and others. And no offense to any of the other actors, but you know what? We love Lauren Lavera here, so she's getting top billing in our eyes, and she is the star of the movie, and she's outstanding in general. And so Ike, you know what? Again, my voice is wavering. I've had a busy day with work and talking and everything else, so I'm gonna let you run with this one, and I'm just gonna give lots of uh-huhs. So tell us what you think of The Well.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, let me be the first to say that going into this, obviously, I had not heard anything about this movie. This movie, in fact, was actually released last year
Yes, right.
2023 originally. But then it obviously got its video on demand release, I think, more recently, specifically this year, September 3rd. But it was released already, so I guess I don't really remember hearing anything about this or talking about it. But this is obviously Lauren Rivera, and you know, honestly, with the success of Terrifier 2, I'll watch anything Lauren Rivera's in. She said that she did so good in that. And there's actually another movie of hers coming out pretty soon that I want to see. I don't remember what it's called, but it has something to do with like a baby or like a fetus or something like that. Isn't it called like The Fetus, I think?
Yeah, I think you might be right.
But she just got bangers coming out, man.
Just sounded funny the way you said this.
Something
to do with the baby or the fetus or something.
Yes, it's called The Fetus, and it's in production currently. It looks good because we saw a trailer for it and talked about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll definitely be checking that out. No problemo. But yeah, so Lauren Rivera in The Well. Let's start out with what I liked and the sort of ambience of this. The film, of course, is set in, I believe, Italy, in a small Italian village, as most great horror films are. And the ambiance was unmatched. The scene and setting of this is actually really cool. The sort of castle type thing that she's in, it seems like a castle. It's just super grandiose, and it has a duchess, which is wild to me. It's just super weird. Like, it's weird to think that stuff still exists to this day. Yeah. Like, there are still duchesses and duchesses and such. But yeah, so, you know, we got the grandiose castle. She's an art restorer. Her father is the primary one, but she was sent in his place for some reason. I don't really think they ever explained why. But she was sent in his place, and she's restoring a piece of art. Now, the sort of motives behind restoring the piece of art, which I'm not going to spoil for anybody, there are certain ulterior motives for them wanting the art restored. They claim it was damaged in a fire. It was not. And there's some sketchy shit happening behind the scenes, which you just got to watch the movie to figure it out. But after a series of trials and tribulations on behalf of Lauren Rivera's character, character's name is Lisa, she comes to find out a very dark truth, and she comes face to face with some pretty creepy evil. The design of the creature, if you will, to not ruin who it is very creepy. It is very grotesque looking and very much a worthy movie monster. To me, is
it a fetus crawling out of a mysterious sack?
No.
Damn it! I'm done.
However, I am copywriting that, and I'm making that movie.
Yeah, we'll save that one for ours. Yeah,
the mysterious sack is what we're going to call it. And but no, for real, right, trademark, trademark pending. But for real though, it was honestly, it was great. I really enjoyed this movie more than I thought it would. Like I said, this movie had a lot of good stuff about it, but let's talk about a couple things I think it could have done better. I do think that the filming of this was in a very high quality, so it felt like a big box office picture. But some of the actors were not good. They were kind of goofy, acting like goofballs, a little bit of a goober. And it did kind of remove you from the ambience of the film.
Yeah, that's why only Lauren Rivera got called out when we talked about the starring.
Right, and it's just like
I had this feeling going into it because if you look a movie up on IMDb and an actor does not have a picture at least of any sort, you're kind of like, And it's like the majority of this cast didn't have pictures, so it made you wonder. So
it did. Well, and also, and like the daughter, I think her name's Julia, she did a pretty good job, which I just found out. She's actually played by Linda Zimpaglione, which is the daughter of Federico.
With the last name like that, it could just be a coincidence.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of Zimpagliones.
It's like the Italian Smith.
All right, I know a Brian's a Paglioni. I went to school with him. You know.
Yeah.
And his brother Jared.
Oh Lord, we have fallen off the rails.
We really have, I swear.
This has been too long a day for me. Just everything's just cracking me up. And it hurts to laugh because my throat. Oh, Lord. And if I have to say Paglioni again, who knows what's going to happen.
It's like Beetlejuice. You say it 3 times fast, he might appear.
I don't think you can say it 3 times fast.
Is it Paglioni? Is it Paglioni? Is it Paglioni?
It's just like blah, 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 blah.
I kid. We
love you, Federico.
We do. Look, I have a basic ass bitch name. My last name is a color. I'm not gonna say it just in case I get doxxed. But my last name's a color. It's a very common last name.
It's fuchsia.
It's fuchsia, not fuchsia. But it's a very common color last name, so I can't say anything.
Come on, man. Well, I guess you're not near another. There's a few of those.
There are.
Yeah, okay.
It could be like green, like Hank Green. It could be like brown, like Mary Brown. You know, white, like Walter White. Black. That's
Black.
Jacob Black from the Twilight movies.
That's your go-to Black, not Jack Black? Come on.
Oh, Jack Black too. Yeah, that's a good one. Weirdly enough, I watched all the Twilight movies recently, so that's a whole other thing we don't need to get into.
let's wrap this thing up. I'm done.
Let's roll back into the right train station here.
Shove that shit back into the mysterious sack.
Right. Anywho, honing back in, what it could have done better. I feel like they just they focused really hard on the main characters, and they casted pretty well acted people for those characters. But I feel like they really, really struggled to find background characters that weren't incapable of doing the job. And I mean that kindly. I don't mean to speak poorly of them. It is just that you could definitely tell the skill level between the varying parties of the film.
Right, yeah.
And that's not super uncommon. You know, if they were just background extras, that's a whole different story. But if they have speaking lines, I do think that there should be sort of an expected level of expertise or skill, potentially. And, like, I get it. That coming from a fat dude that lives in Florida who's never acted a day in his life is real high and mighty. But as the viewer of this film, it was noticeable. So that's my big thing. You know what I mean? The setting was great. The story was actually pretty solid, all things considered. There were a few plot holes, but what movie doesn't have a few plot holes? It was fun. Lauren Rivera and other company were great. It's just that there were some of those people that kind of took you out of it, and especially for the quality of the film, I was not expecting that. Because the film truly is high quality. It has very high resolution. It seems like it was shot with professional equipment, but for some reason, you got these goofballs kind of taking you out of the essence of it. So
they blew all the budget on the cameras.
They really did, on the cameras and Lauren Rivera specifically. But I digress. Still, though, it was enjoyable. I cannot say that it wasn't. It was still a fun time, and I would still recommend somebody watch this, even if there is some potential drawbacks. You know what I mean? This isn't one of those movies I'd be like, yeah, don't watch this. Don't waste your time. No, 100% give it a watch. It's worth it.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not adding much to it. I kind of agree with the things you said. Kind of the same thoughts I had. I enjoyed the movie. I don't know, maybe biased because I love Lauren Rivera, and I'm a little biased to her because it's her Terrifier. But yeah,
I am too.
And considering my throat feels like it's closing in on me, I think I'm gonna just say my words and say ditto. And let's get to the rating here. So out of 5 screams, Ike, what are you giving The Whale?
I'm giving The Whale a solid 3.5 out of 5.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was thinking more just giving it the standard old 3, the middle of the ground. Enjoyed it, but it's not really knocking anything out of the park with me. So that I'll give it the 3 out of 5. That's typically kind of where we land on these things. It seems a lot of times if I have a 3, you have a 3.5. it just works that way. That's okay.
It does.
But coming to video on demand on September 3rd. So that's the day we're recording. So by the time you hear this, it will be out. So everybody go out and purchase that and give it a watch and tell us what you think. And then after you've done that, make sure this weekend you all just flood the theaters and let's go watch Beetlejuice, and show Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder some love. And we've been waiting a long time for this movie for those of us who love the original. And here we are. What is it? Oh, wow. What are we talking? 26 years? Lord.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
is it?
crazy.
Or longer? Yeah, 26. Whatever, maybe. Yeah, 26. Anyway, whatever the case may be, a long time. So everybody go watch it. It's going to be a fun movie. I don't think even if it has flaws or whatever else, it's still going to be fun and entertaining, and it's going to be a good experience. So go and watch Beetlejuice this weekend. That is what we are reviewing next episode. So, Ike, before we close this out and get out of here, anything you want to throw in?
Well, I would just say beware of the mysterious sack. It is lurking, so that's all I got to say.
Never know what's going to strike. I think we have to make this into a T-shirt.
I think so.
Yeah. And, Art the Clown has a very mysterious sack. He carries...
He does.
Not that kind of... Come on, man. Talking about the trash bag he carries.
That is also mysterious.
Yeah. I wonder if he still carries the trash bag in this next one or if he's upgraded at all.
He's got a Louis Vuitton bag.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he obviously steals a Santa suit and stuff, right? Does he steal a little bit nicer, kind of red crushed velvety type Santa sack? Or
I hope so, honestly.
I guess we'll see in October. And although there's a lot of character in that old trash bag he's carried. And oh man, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, there we go. Thank you to all of our listeners and followers. And I started to say thank you to all of our wives. No, we're not that kind. Thank you to all the listeners and the followers and to our wives for all your support, encouragement, interactions, listens, everything else. You guys are all super great. Make sure you watch those movies we put out there. Like I said, do it at whatever pace you want, right? Do it with, don't feel the pressure to watch every day. You can pick and choose. You can watch them out of order. Use it for whatever guideline you want. And or who knows, you watch something, maybe it spawns you going down a whole rabbit hole or something else. That's cool too. Anything we can add to your Spooktober pleasure, we're happy with that, and makes us happy. So until next week, when we're reviewing Beetlejuice. This is Dave. That's Ike, and wherever you go, whatever you do, be good, be safe, and have many pleasant nightmares.